Hi Kirby fans, so today we're going to be stripping down that Classic 3 and seeing what she's like on the inside. So what we'll do is dive straight into it. Now don't forget, everything you use in my videos are linked in the description below for the best place to get your Kirby products. Make sure you check those out at the end of this video. Right, so in today's video we're going to be diving into that Classic 3 and starting this refurb. I will put an card above, a link into the video when I picked it up. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check that out at the end of this video. So today we're going to be checking out that Classic 3. We're going to see if the brushes need changing, anything that needs replacing inside, whether the switches are damaged or anything like that, or cracked, we will be having a look at. So what we'll do is dive straight into it. Right, so here we've got the Classic 3. She does need a bit of work. We're going to be replacing the bumper, the belt lifter. I'm going to be putting all these in separate videos so people can find them and find them a lot easier. Now we're going to open this up and see what she's like on the inside. Just lift that up, wind that belt lifter off. Cord out. Flip her over. There should be one there and one there. Should come apart. So that looks pretty clean inside. Pretty clean. I mean, it run pretty awesome. I did run a CFM test on it. If you haven't seen that, I'll put an card above linking to that for you to check out at the end of this video. So we're just going to check these brushes. So that's the old brush. And we're about halfway, so they could do replacing, so we will replace those. You shove that spring in. I'm going to push that down. And slide that metal part back in. So again, keep your head out of the way, you don't want it shooting up and nicking in the eye. Once you've got halfway, you can slide that all the way through, and that should click in place, like so. And just flip that round, and that's one bush changed. And I'm going to flip it over, and the same on the other side. Now there's no rubber seal on here, so I'm assuming when Kirby had it in for a service, so I'm assuming Kirby serviced last, they didn't put the rubber seal back on, so we'll have to get a cap for that. But for the moment, we'll just take that out. So we'll just push that down. You're going to push that back, not too much because you don't want it firing out. Again, keep your screwdriver there just to hold that down while you pull that out. Put your thumb over the end and let that spring release. And out she comes. So they have worn, you can see they're worn pretty evenly. Just pop the new one in. Push that spring down. Push that in. Sort of fire that down with the screwdriver again. Push that little brass section in. It should clip in. There we go. So we're going to need a new section for there just to cover that. This I will be changing in a separate video, so make sure you check that out. So we'll get this polished up once I've changed this. Now the safety switches are different on these. You haven't got a safety switch going through, you've just got 3 wires. So we'll just disconnect that. So just unscrew that there. Pull that out gently, and what you've got is 3 wires. Now these just push in, so what you're going to need is, and what I'll use is just a skewer, because when you push these wires in they lock in place, so you're just going to need a skewer to open it, push it in gently, and that wire should pull out one at a time. If you want, you can mark these wires, so I'll get a marker pen and I'll just mark these 1, 2, 3, so we know which order they go. I'm using a permanent marker, so that's 1, 2. Right, a bit thicker. And then I'll go 3. 1, 2, 3. Now disconnecting it, you're just going to push your little thing in there and you can pull that wire because it will release it. So you just push it in gently and that wire should pull out like so. And just do that with the same with the next one. Okay, out it comes, and then the final one. Push that in, open it, and out that pops. That way now we can take this base off without damaging the switch or the wires. We can also give this a bit of a clean. And now we'll just remove the front and see what she's like on the inside. So you've got one screw here, got one here, 2, 3, 4. So it's exactly the same as the Legend 2. And that now should come apart. Just feed that through, pull those wires through gently. So we've got a little bit of grime. It has been siliconed by the looks of it. So these aren't normally sealed, but you do get better airflow if you seal them. Now that fan is pretty new. There's no dinks, there's no damage from dog hairs. So that's a pretty decent fan. So we'll get this tuck off and give it a bit of a clean. Bear in mind that these are 42 years old. Spray them with some WD-40 and let them soak for a while before you round them off with a cordless screwdriver. If not, use a hand screwdriver. I have already had these soaking, so I know they will come out, and just go gently with it. So log it in, tap it gently, and it should release. As long as it releases and doesn't spin, then out it comes. Same with this one. Put it in, tap it, and it's loosened, so it will come out. Bear in mind this is exactly the same as the G series. You've got that toe touch control, so you're just going to push that up, hold that in place, slot that axle off gently. Watch this spring doesn't fire out. All this is going to have to be cleaned and polished, but that's exactly the same as what's on the G series. So I'll put that to one side, ready to be polished. Now to release this headlight bumper, what you've got under here is 3 little prongs, and you've got one at the back here. The one on this one is broken by the looks of it, so it will just come off. But what you can do is get your little screwdriver under there and just push that out if it isn't there. If you want to reuse these, I'm not reusing them today, so I will just literally pull these off. So you're just going to get a screwdriver and just push there, and that should push out. Then you can pull that, just give it a bit of a wiggle, and it should pull off. There you go. So make sure you push on them, that way you won't snap them off. Out they come, and there. And you can see those are still intact, so if you want to reuse that you could. Mine's broke and I was replacing it anyway because it was all scuffed. And we've got a headlight bulb, so I will put a new bulb in there, and I'll be keeping this as a unit at the moment just to get all this polished up. I will sand all this. Like I said, I will put an iCard above linking how to do that. Right, so we're just going to disconnect this fan. So 9 times out of 10 you can hold these. You can get a tool to sit in the back to hold the actual armature, but hopefully this will just crack. So if you're really steady and quick, you hold the fan in it, and there you go. Off she comes. Pull that out, and this will give us a chance to have a nice look and clean behind there. Oh, it's got a date as well, so it's a little bit grubby behind there. So I'll seal, so we don't want to get any grime down there. But if we give that a wipe, there's an actual date on here. Now all I use to clean mine is just some anti-back wipes. Give that a wipe. Oh, there we go. Wow. So it's got the actual date on there. So this fan was changed in 2007. So the 14th of the 9th, 2007, it had a new fan. And by the looks of that, it hasn't been used since 2007. Not long after that fan was changed, it got stopped being used. So it was 2 years after that her father passed away, and that's why it's only had 2 years use. So that is in pretty good nick. So for 14 years old, it hasn't been touched basically. It's been changed in 2007, probably used for a year, maybe 2. But that's in really good nick. So we'll give that a clean and we'll reuse this fan. This fan can go back in, it's fine. Right, so I've brushed it off over the bin, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a good clean and wipe with a wet wipe. So we're just using an anti-bat wet wipe just to get this nice and clean. Okay, so try not to get any soap or anything behind that seal. There's no rubber seal in there, so try and not get anything in there. We will wipe that with some paper towel, and we'll just wipe that with some paper towel. Dirt and grease in there, so we will re-grease in there just to get that front bearing. Some fresh grease. Obviously this hasn't been touched since 2007. So we'll just get some fresh grease in there for that front bearing. Put that back in and we'll wipe away any excess grease. Right, so we're just going to clean behind here as well. So I'm going to use some polish, some auto sol, and just polish that up. Give that a bit of a buff up. And I'll just give that a wipe, another wet wipe. And just wipe that with some paper towel. So because everything was running fine before, I've re-greased this front bearing, I've cleaned all this out, as you can see that's spotless now. I don't think there's any real point taking the motor out, having a go at the armature. The armature is quite clean as well. So you can see the armature is quite clean. We fitted new brushes. So I think it was just a case of getting it back together. Now don't forget, everything used in the video today, there are links in the description below for the best place to get your Kirby products. Make sure you check those out at the end of this video. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you didn't see when I picked this Classic 3 up, I'll put an iCard linking to that, and I'll put an iCard above linking to the proof book, what I got with it. So as you can see, that Classic 3 was quite a surprise when we opened it up. The condition of that fan and what little bit of dirt lay behind there was quite surprising. You can see it's been looked after by that ex-Kirby demonstrator. Yes, we changed the brushes, but they'd only been worn down about halfway. We've got a little cover to buy to cover where the brushes go. I've got those gauges to get out, which I will do before the next video. So what we'll do in the next video is I'll get it all polished up, get that gauge out, and then we'll start getting it reassembled and back together. Those who are new to the channel, if you find you're getting value out of this content, then contemplate showing support by slapping that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Ding that bell for notifications so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. Give us a big thumbs up and comment down below. I will reply to the comment, and if you like what you comment, I'll pin it to the video. So what we'll do is cut to any bloopers, and I'll catch you in the next one.